During Trout Union Cup training session, many participants noted that trout was reluctant to take the bait due to a high temperature and a low water level. The fishermen had hardly selected a proper tactic when they had to readjust themselves when the heat was replaced by the rainy and cool weather of the first day of the competition. On the night before the second contest day, the town of Svit was overtaken by a thunderstorm. Here is what our old acquaintance Stanislav Pernitsky has to say. It's not that bad that sportsmen found themselves in a difficult situation when the water rose by foot. What is worse is that it became really muddy. The guys asked for the grace of St. Peter, but obviously they overdid it. The greatest pity is that people from Russia, Bosnia and Moldova had traveled a long way here to meet all this. If the water does not subside, fishing conditions are going to be very tough. Well, it seems to be true that too many people were too insistent praying to the heaven for the heat to go down and for the Poprad level to go up at least a little bit. A cheerful, crystal-clear shallow river became a strong and gloomy muddy stream. We don't know what trout felt, but the people were nervous. The main question was whether it made any sense to continue the competition in such conditions.
The situation now for a second day on the Trout Union Cup is worse than yesterday's. From Saturday to Sunday falls a lot of rain and the water level is a little bit higher, but that is not a problem. The problem is that it's very muddy, so that are not so good conditions.
You can see that the water is really very dirty. Okay, in my free time I will never catch the river like this. Maybe we can try it, but I think it will be not fair, because maybe some fishermen will catch the fish. But I think it's really very stupid if one or two fish must have some results for this championship. So for me it's really not good.
So from my side, I don't think that is good trying to catch anything, because it will be only for a lucky, nothing more. Just lucky man will be catch something here.
Because in some of experience like us, sometimes you say you cannot catch nothing, but still the people catch a lot. Because somebody can find different type of stools, I mean, like something aggressive or something that is going top of the water. And still I saw that some fish that they take they eat in the boat. Then this means we must have the chance to fight it.
We will hope for the water get clean and the conditions improve, and we will manage to conduct 4 regular sets, and everything will be decided by fishing rather than by a second tour consolation. It was obvious that despite any reasonable arguments against, many participants were still ready to take the challenge. In fact, the above-mentioned external players of the Trout Union Cup, such as time, fish and weather, were joined by another one: good luck, which has always been a factor in trout fishing competition, where unexpected wins or losses are a common thing. On the other hand, sight fishing is not possible now. You cannot see where you should cast your bait or control its movement, or observe how fish reacts. You can only rely upon your knowledge, skills and intuition, gained as a result of hard work. Blind fishing gives you a lot of adrenaline. It's true that the weather has spoiled the fishing conditions. However, the weather is bad for everybody without exception. We would add that when filming trout fishing competition in Russia, we often face unpredictable weather conditions, as spring stream trout can easily turn into a winter event. In this situation, the only way out is to cancel the second stage. But everybody tries to take it easy. Here in Slovakia, we saw once again that trout fishermen are true fighters. So the start was only postponed, not cancelled. It was a challenge that we mentioned at the beginning of the film. A challenge to overcome external and internal factors such as the weather, worries and uncertainties. The sportsmen received no helmet support. As it often happens, difficulties had drawn like-minded people together. We admire our steadfast referees who came to the riverbank to assist the competition and support the enthusiasm of the sportsmen. Raincoats and umbrellas were given to those who didn't have any of the kind. This is how we convinced nature that none of us would give up. In sectors A and B, which were below sectors C and D, it was very tough from the beginning. Numerous 0 points were a true disappointment. When finally Sergei Bachin from Moldova's team came up with 2 tickets, everybody was sincerely glad. Indeed, many sportsmen failed despite all the efforts they made, while others were lucky to select a proper approach and catch their fish. I can demonstrate what bait worked well. The water is cloud, but there were 4 takes on this worm. It should be noted that Sector B, for example, was good for fishing brown trout. Those who managed to find the right key to catching small fish in a fast stream took the lead. Small spinners were favored here. As for Sectors C and D, the situation was much better there. Fish took the bait more active with each start, obviously because the water level began to subside and the water itself became clearer. In the beginning there was biting closer to the riverbank only, but later trout became active in the middle of the river as well. Not all fishermen were able to react to this unexpected change in its mood. What is characteristic of both C and D sectors is that the best catch was achieved by silicon or small spinners under the riverbank and by wobblers at a distance from it. In Sector D, this approach was taken by the runner-up Eugene Sedakov. 3 leaders of Sector C fished in the same style. Let's hear what Alexei Vashkov has to say, a person who is well known for his sharp observations and emotional evaluation. First, we asked him to tell us about his own fishing. Of course, the river has been a surprise today. Well, we knew that after such kind of rain it could be muddy, because we got used to fishing mountain rivers. However, when we saw the river, it was like coffee with milk. We have had situations when the second stage had to be cancelled. We tried to fish, we knew that all fish kept to the river bank. We understood that it stayed not more than half a meter off the bank. I started experimenting both with rods and with braided line. It was first time in my life when I fished with braided line. This is something. A lot of fish took off. It seems that technically I did everything right. And of course, the leader of today is Aima Isson. What I did today is just amazing. But biting was extremely delicate. I liked an Isson wobbler. It has a definite play. What can you say about your sector's leader? They are Todor Kostadinov and Peter Honek. It was really exciting to watch them fish. Honek used silicon baits. He fished shoreward, while Kostadinov notably fished the other way around. His technique was like those mostly practiced in our Caucasus River, namely plugging in the middle of the river. Active wobbling indeed, in order to make such vibration. Interesting technique, slightly different. In fact, their tactics were rather similar. They never stayed at one place for a long time, frequently changing their position. However, I think plugging requires a more thorough approach. Kostadinov was too fast. He would make 1 or 2 casts and then change position. As for Peter Honek, all he did was right. Fish kept to the river bed. The water is muddy. Fish always keeps closer. He fished at short lengths, casting at 2 or 3 meters. The river bank is steep here, grass at the edge of the bank below. Fish always finds it comfortable to stay there in a slow flow. This is classic, of course. This was a professional view of a competitor. And what will Todor say himself? I was the third today. In the first start, I needed some time to readjust myself. Fish was sluggish, reluctant to take the bait. This is why I didn't catch anything at the first start. If I had caught at least one, then probably I would have been higher in the final classification. The Slovaks caught the best in this sector. It seems that the guy adjusted himself better than the others and was able to catch fish in all starts. What else can I say? You see the conditions here, a lot of muddy water. At the end, the river became clearer and fish was more active, so it worked out well. I think it was a good competition. What is bad is that it rained during the contest. Everyone got soaked, but I hope nobody caught cold. Well, the most successful fishers today were those who were the most persistent. The competition is over and all have come down, including the weather, the Poprad and sportsmen. A wonderful night ahead for summarizing the results. The autumn stage of the Trout Union Cup became a triumph of the Slovak team. However, it wasn't a monopoly. Poland #1, who took the lead after the first day and captured silver in the team event. The water was clear yesterday and the Polish team took the lead at the end of the first day. While we slept, at night it rained and the water level went up. It changed fishing conditions greatly. We wanted to compete in a sport atmosphere, independent of any problem. I failed in the first round trying to locate fish in such conditions. In the second round, I caught a brown trout from under the opposite bank. It gave me some hope that fish would become more active. In the third round, the water began to subside gradually, clearing up. It was obvious that trout became very aggressive. It didn't hide, but went out to feed, looking for baits far from the riverbed. Thus, we had a chance to score points in the last round. Here is the great Peter Hornek, who became the best trout catcher in the year following the Spring and Autumn Trout Union Cup competition.
I think that all the teams are become better and better every year. So it's not possible to say which country can be winner on the championship. But of course there are countries like Russia, Poland or Czech Republic, and they are very good every year. But we are really very happy that we had so good results for both teams, for Slovakian 1 and 2nd team. So I think it's very good.
Then in the autumn of the Poprad, most fishermen thought of the forthcoming World Championship scheduled to be held here. Here is what the Slovak stage's organizer, the Slovak team's captain Jaroslav Samila said. Our event was very difficult, but the results are very honest. 5 or 6 teams could win. It was very thin and a small border between them. One fish allowed the result for all days, and we were lucky to find the fish, because we live here and we know our fish and our river.
Trout Union Cup tour.
The tour is over. We had a wonderful weekend. On Saturday, the level was low and the weather was calm, while on Sunday it was just the other way round. In these extreme conditions, everyone had to adjust himself quickly. Many participants were able to meet this challenge and catch fish. You have already heard the winners say that they adjusted themselves instantly. At this stage, we introduced 2 new nominations: the Sportsman of the Year and the Team of the Year. And both nominations went to the Slovaks. These are 2 Hornek brothers, extraordinary sportsmen. They seem to be able to fish in any conditions and will always catch something. Organizing cups requires a lot of effort, and we try to do our best. Everyone notes that each new Trout Union Cup becomes more and more representative, and we are already thinking of the Cup's new stages, and we are exploring new possibilities. We thank once again the Slovak Fishing Union, the fishing associations, and the City Council of Sweden for their invitation to Slovakia with our Trout Union and for their enthusiastic organization of the tournament. Thanks to all who helped the Trout Union. Let's support this tournament based on friendship of ordinary people from so different countries. They are all passionate about sport fishing and gladly share their passion with the whole world. After all, you don't need too much to feel yourself among friends. Trout Union Cup, let's be friends.